I've lived in King's Cross for 20 years, and it's only really since the launch of the community website, kingscrossenvironment.com, that I found a way of becoming involved in my community, which is something I've always wanted to do. I think the internet creates an accessibility, a sense of very easily and quickly being able to be involved, to say your say, and have your opinion up there, have a discussion with people from all over King's Cross, people I've never met. I don't know who they are. I know their names, and we correspond over stuff and get together and organise, but online in a way that, again, you couldn't do without the web.
Well, I think it's invaluable for keeping abreast of what's going on in the area. I just find out who's looking for planning permission, any licensed premises looking for get the licence renewed, all these sort of things, and I just know what's going on. I wouldn't know otherwise.
I think what social media is bringing to a place like Stoke-on-Trent, where we have one sort of dominant newspaper and TV and radio that really doesn't have much of a local base. We have some quite voiceless communities that have been left behind, where really the media doesn't know how to start with them, doesn't know how to get into them or to talk to them. And I think what social media can do, and what the Talk About Local project could do, is to act as a bridge. So we're not trying to undermine the mainstream media, but we can give those people a voice, and we can show some of the talent and the creativity and the resourcefulness in those areas, and also perhaps be a bridge for government.
Sites have stimulated people's ability to, number one, understand what's going on. It's been a tool to show people what they have to do to make things happen, and it's been the vehicle that has reinforced their good work, because it promotes when things happen, and it gives credit to the people that made it happen.
I think it's really got a lot of potential here, because we've got people who are starting to find their feet. We've got people who perhaps would have turned to extremism before, who are now turning to community campaigns, and they're finding that actually people are listening to them and listening to them when they do some research and put something up.
There's absolutely no way this campaign could have got the support that it did without us using the internet. For a start, speaking very personally, I have certain disabilities, which mean that I cannot campaign in many of the traditional ways, and being able to sit in front of a computer and talk to my community and the community and the business community meant that I could get the word out, and we could all suddenly share information very, very quickly.
That it's become a vehicle for people to, number one, express their points of view, but more importantly, it has been a focal point that has enabled local people to mass behind individual campaigns. All right? All of a sudden, local people feel empowered because they can make things happen. And when they start to make things happen, it's like a cycle. All of a sudden they can realize they can make more things happen.
I think the site has contributed to sort of community activism in the area?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, one of the things that I really found quite inspiring was, I think it was you who did the campaign with all the furniture that was dumped in the street, and the old fridges, and that was great that you really got onto that, and it was quite inspiring, really, to think of what one could do, what was possible.
And has it encouraged you personally to do a few more things?
Yes, certainly it has. Yeah.
I don't think you have a technical background, but you actually run two websites here. How hard did you find it to pick up the skills, and what sort of people do you think can do that kind of thing?
I found it quite easy. Well, let's say I found it much easier than I thought I would. I think anybody that has used a computer and uses a word processor, so you're typing and you know how to put a heading up and things like that, if you can do that, you can run a website.
We're in the grips of a recession or a depression, whatever you want to call it. To what extent do you think local social media can stimulate economic activity?
I think hopefully it can show people that they don't need all the resources to be able to do things for themselves. So a lot of our regeneration is waiting for the buildings, and it's waiting for the physical regeneration to get going, or it's waiting for the businesses to notice us. I think with social media tools, people can realise that they can connect and they can start making an idea happen, and they can actually kind of take the American approach of doing something and then showing the value of it, and then later on perhaps building up the skills to be able to professionalise that.